Hello and welcome to the Social Club. We're going to wrap up the World Cup. We're going to begin here. Was that the best World Cup ever?
Yes, next.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, even with your, let's say, no. Let me find
Very
a tactful
careful.
way to phrase this.
Some of them that you saw in black and white. In the back of the
Even
newspaper.
though you remember England winning it in 66.
Behave yourself.
That 58
still
Brazil team
remembers-
was one of your
Nah,
favourites.
getting
To
the
be
news.
to be fair,
He's
mate.
on the street corner, the guy goes, read all about it. And he's like, oh, gee, England won.
You all gathered around the one TV set they had on the street. That rich family.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Because you're definitely lying about your age. I know you are. There's only Dave who's... Well, Dave thinks he's Croatian, so...
Yeah.
He's called Dragov Obranovic.
82, which was the first one I can properly remember, was amazing.
Okay.
The best Brazil side never to win it. But since, this was fantastic.
Remember following
Italian-
your bike in black and white and stuff?
No.
Italian
All the
90
TVs when I was born,
is the
Steve.
one of our generation. I guess yours as
Nah,
well.
2014 was good.
Dave's a weirdo, don't ask Dave. 90 was my favourite prior to this one.
Yeah.
90 was...
But I wonder how much of this is, I mean, some of that is just pure nostalgia. I was like 7 for Italian 90. It's the first one I remember, but I remember as much, it's the moments, it's Roger Miller dancing.
That's what you
And all
remember.
that.
Gazza crying, obviously.
Exactly, all the iconic moments, and more playing footy in the street as a result. But I think it's telling. This is the Nessun Dorma, of course, and the Italian 90 man that used to slide on as a graphic on the screen when someone scored, which was great.
That was the
But
inspiration for the Champions League anthem, by the way.
really,
Nessun Dorma.
The 1990 anthem.
there you go, fascinating.
Nessun Dorma.
And by fascinating, I mean not interesting. Let's move on. The point is that what I got from this World Cup, and it's the amount of people who were talking about it in like, well, just really positive terms. But I think England have done this as a part of this, and we'll come on to that. But I think it's reignited people's passion for footy. You know, there's a new generation of people who've gotten dead excited by it, and it was just goals, drama, talking points. You got to see some great flashes from the old guard, as it were, Dave, but also you're seeing the next generation of top talent coming through as well. I can't argue. I think as good as any World Cup there's been.
I think it's an interesting side. You think in France, obviously the youngest team at the tournament won it. And again, like you're saying, the exciting players in there, Pogba and Mbappe, guys that you pay to watch.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's kind of, we haven't had that for a few World Cups where there's these new guys coming in and you're like, wow, these guys are going to do it, and then they've done it.
Yeah.
Think about the goals as well, so many goals we've seen. I think VAR as well created some drama.
Yeah.
Like in a way, it's been quite good.
Well, it's been a constant tournament. We had a little lull in like the back end, the quarters and semis where not
The back end of the
wasn't
group, it was
loads.
gross. It was gross.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then they obviously had a meeting and was like,
Just chill out.
Chill
a
out.
bit.
But to be fair, are we saying that in general, it got most of the decisions were correct?
I think it got
don't
the
like the
decisions
length of
right to a
time.
point.
No, that's
Yeah.
Well, obviously, as we need to clarify, VAR doesn't make the decisions.
Yeah.
But I think what it
Involved
did
in the right
was,
decision.
I think it left us with the same notion that we've always had, though, is that it still will boil down to what the referee's interpretation of things is, which I guess we should all be cool with, because you're not really changing anything in that regard. You're fucking with the flow of the game a bit, which still remains my issue with it. Actually, let's show of hands the final. Who thought it should have been a penalty?
Definitely a penalty. The one that I questioned before, though,
Yeah, I
that
didn't-
free kick
Yeah.
where Griezmann dives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they revisit that? Again, if that game's in real time, that's not... Perisic doesn't concede a penalty. I don't think you see that. I think him moving his leg up was pretty good to try and con the referee. And I think the VAR was right, but at the same time, the Griezmann thing was wrong.
Yeah.
So you've got... you basically... France are like 2+ up with
What
VAR.
was mad was he gave a goal kick. He didn't even
First,
say.
yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
even say. Oh, I thought it hit his knee. He went for a corner. He gave a goal kick.
Which is the thing, isn't it?
So it was
Yeah.
either a penalty or a corner, and he gave a goal kick.
I had Keith Hackett on my podcast just before the World Cup, and he was the referee boss when they brought in the earpiece. They said there was loads of people seeing their ass when that got brought in, but it just allowed that communication flow. And he says the way it should be implemented, in his opinion, this is the guy that used to be the boss of all the referees, is that it should be implemented exactly where the linesman is. Where the linesman flags, you go offside. I trust this guy. I work this guy.
That's what I agree with.
So he goes, what it should be is, let's take the Perisic one in the final.
Penalty.
The game's just played, and we're carrying on, and then he gets a little buzz in his ear, and they're going, Keith, you just missed that, mate, that was a penalty. And he go, you sure? And he go, yeah. And he goes, penalty.
Yeah.
That's it.
all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it needs
He
to
can
be.
even go. He can still do that. I watch MLS, a lot of MLS, and it is weird because some referees go to the telly, but in a lot of games I've seen, the referee just goes like that. blows
you've
the
got to
whistle,
trust.
goes like
It's a
that,
team
and
thing,
gives, he
isn't it?
doesn't go and look at anything, and the decision
that's
speeds
better.
everything.
It creates doubt, doesn't it? Because that one, I didn't think it was a handball, if I'm honest. It led to a bit of a debate, and maybe this is me too much old school football. It's like the yellow card thing for me. I think at what point did it become the ball hitting your hand is handball? It's like when you foul
handball based on this World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. But
If that was Liverpool, though, you would want a penalty for it.
Yeah,
Luis
well,
Suarez got about 54 penalties.
but that's
for
not
that
meant
goal.
to be that's not meant to be the point.
Did
though,
he
is it?
move his arm towards the ball?
It's
in an unnatural position, though, right?
Yeah, but this is the point I'm driving at. Is that
Yeah, but he's stopping the
if
ball.
you're out, if you're physically moving, I think it goes back again. What I was saying about the yellow card thing, it's like if you go 100% committed with an intent to win the ball and you're just a bit late, you shouldn't get booked. That's a free kick. That you're being punished for missing it.
Yeah.
It's the idea. We're now in a world where
It's dangerous, though, right?
Well, no.
You don't want to see the best players get broken
Well,
legs.
I know, but this is the
hence
point,
why
isn't
Ronaldo
it?
and Messi have been so long.
This
the
is,
careers
but
been
this
so
is
long.
this is all the point, isn't it?
But
Is
don't
that
you, like, just on the handball then, you might look at it differently because being the beneficiary of a lot of decisions and stuff.
how many penalties did we get last season? By the way?
I
Are we just going one season? Are we just doing one season?
No, you're not playing
Okay,
those.
because you've know that since the Premier League started, you've got more penalties than any other team by about 30 if we want to do that. But this isn't about. I know, I seen this stat last night.
Right, yeah.
I'm just keeping this to one of the because
it's the only one,
Because
man,
Dave's
yeah.
here, I'm intimidated. I'm
Good
having
one.
to try and think. I've got another one here.
I've got a solution for the,
Hang
for
on,
the VAR.
whoa.
Oh, you like this?
Just
You'll like
because
this.
I haven't finished yet. Right. Do you trust the referee enough to just... Because I'll tell you what I don't like about penalties, where people go, the referee's discretion. I don't like that. Because a referee could just go, you just called me a dickhead 2 minutes ago.
no,
you
it
ain't
is-
getting a pen.
My-
And I've seen it, whereas VAR go,
My
listen,
issue,
it's a penalty.
my
Yeah.
issue is we've seen. I think that one falls into the category the same as the mad Portugal one as well. Was it Portugal Iran? Is that right?
Yeah.
When
That
you
was a bit
watch
too
them
much,
back
wasn't
in
it?
slow motion,
Would you
you
get
see
that?
the ball in the hand, and you go, you're watching, you're going, the defo giving it for that because you can. You take the context of the referee watched that decision back with like
they're not even
two.
supposed to
Dick
watch
Smith,
it in
though, did he?
slow-mo.
No, the one that they did, there was a dodgy one as well, where it kind of come off and hit someone's hand. But the point with the one in the final, the context in which he was watching that was mad. He watched the ball move like 2 ball widths or whatever to it hitting him. You didn't get the full enough. I think
Aren't
it was.
they,
I think
in
it
the
was
rules
harsh.
of it as well, not supposed to be watching it in slow-mo? I think they're only supposed to review it in real-time clips. I believe. I might be wrong on that one.
I'm not sure if that's true. But
I've got a way that you make it better anyway.
Yeah, go
You
on.
add the countdown clock to it.
Yeah.
About a do-do-do-do,
Part
do-do-do-do,
shot.
and then you've got to make your decision. If you ain't got time to make it in that
I
decision.
just think the
Just-
others
but
like
if you-
it. I just think the others, like you said before.
But if you do that and then they get it wrong, then they,
Yeah,
then
then
they
there's
add 5
pressure and
seconds
stuff,
to
yeah.
it, and then they add 20 seconds, and so on and so forth. It's still not right. But anyway, let's not talk too much about the
Yeah,
VAR
go on.
because the footy was really good. We all believe in France deserved winners in the end.
I think so.
I think it's mad because everyone went
Look
into
at the route.
this year and looked at the players.
Look at the route.
Well, look at the players that they didn't take to that tournament. The quality, all the players like the Benzemas or whatever, pretty much walk into every other team in that tournament and massively improve them. They've got the best pool of talent, I think, to pick upon. So they should be winning it. Is that?
Yeah, but sure.
But I think they would have
And
been
Germany, the German team's not
Germans.
good.
Yeah, well, the big team that turned up, right? I think that was the thing. I think the balance was good.
Spanish team
Matuidi,
wasn't terrible. either, let's
Kante
be honest
midfield
with
was
ourselves.
smart and it worked really well. And having someone like an Mbappe where you can just give him the ball and let him go. That was the nice side of France, is that they were quite direct. It was almost like, old school winger. Similar. I was looking back at Brazil 58. Similar team, similar setup where they lined up as a
Remember
4-4-2
No,
and they
like
moved
20
to a
years when I was
4-3-3 with Mbappe or Garrincha high. And it's interesting that they both played quite similar, where they had like a target man guy, they had someone like a Pele, Griezmann type player. So they deserve it, but the people's champions were Croatia.
Still banging up.
Yeah.
Still.
He's walking home him.
Let's talk a little bit about England. I think it's fair to say, because most of us have been pretty public on this. None of us massive England fans per se, but I got out of this tournament largely what I wanted to get out of it. And I said in the build, I did a video on my channel. I said I've not been able to love England for a long time, but I've not even been able to really like them for a long time. And I'm not gonna look. I've not got 3 lions tattooed on me anywhere off the back of it. I've not bought a waistcoat. I've not done all it. I'm not going to get my night costume or me inflatable Spitfire or whatever it was, like, because that's just total bollocks. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed England. It gave me I enjoyed having a vested interest in a result, and that's the big thing. Because people can criticise England, and we'll talk a little bit about it now. But people can criticise England for having a great chance of getting to the final. This was a great chance of winning it and what have you. And you can say, look at the route they went, and it was a perfect opportunity. But again, because I don't take it to heart, I got well more out of that England side than I ever expected.
It was like a fun team to watch. It was like a hipster team at the tournament was actually England, where they played pretty fun football at times. Like the Panama game was a good game of football, right? Yeah. Same with the Tunisia game was good. Sweden game wasn't bad. You know, there were some good games in there. I think that's the most positive thing is you don't have that club rivalry there where Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't Steven Gerrard or you know Rio Ferdinand isn't someone like a Eric Dyer. There's no real friction in there. They seem to get on. There's a good vibe about them, which is nice. And I think that's a positive thing at the moment in the UK is having that sort of thing to look at. Oh, they're actually doing well. They're together. There's a team.
It's annoying me the analysis from the pundits and the press because of how they've absolutely destroyed England in the past unfairly. I now think they're trying to be too positive on the other side and not look at some of the cold hard facts. Cold hard facts is Southgate. I think he's done all right, but he's got a lot to learn because I put England's failure in the semi right on his feet because I think he didn't change it. He'd shown his hand all the way through. If he'd have mixed up the formations, it might have kept Croatia guessing. If he'd have had a couple of different personnel, they had one way of playing with no plan B.
Yeah, I know. I agree in so much as I think it was clear for everyone to see watching that Croatia game that they needed just energy in the midfield. They have to bring Henderson off at that point, and then Dyer when you're chasing a game is never, I get it to try and shut a game down, but he was not going to add anything to it. But this is, sorry Dave, but this is, I don't think it's entirely his fault because you're going to throw, Loftus-Cheek I thought actually it was a bit unfair, not him given his performance early on in the tournament, but Loftus-Cheek, I think England fell apart because they lacked quality and personnel in that midfield. I think if you add, and this is, maybe this is a little bit of Liverpool bias, but whatever, if Lallana or Oxlade-Chamberlain were fit, you just got you've got more pace and direct running from midfield, you've got better touch in Lallana.
It's the tactics.
Yes.
France shown you in the final. France played pretty much a 4-4-2 in the final. England, with Jamie Vardy, could have used the blueprint from Leicester and played the Leicester 4-4-2 style, hitting on the counter, pack that midfield, stop them coming through as quickly as they did, find the channels and do something like that. We didn't have a plan. Yeah. The plan was to go long to Raheem Sterling.
Well, the plan was to play out from the back and Croatia press.
Do you think that the problem that England had, to some extent, and this might sound slightly weird, but bear with me on it, people can say that the route they got was a really easy route. I actually wonder whether England were better set up to come up against bigger teams in some regard, because people might say, no, but you might say, well, they'd have gotten smashed because they struggled, but I don't think they had the talent there to dominate games with the ball.
That was the plan, though, right?
I looked at. I mean, with the England thing, I'm like you. You lose the interest in it. But I watched them before. We said that this is the start of it. Watched them again against Nigeria in a friendly, playing a different way, and it was much better. And I think Southgate needs massive credit for that, for the way he's got the team quite clearly bonded. Because there was no ego, it didn't seem like there was any real egos. Different. And when you watch it, you had a little bit of a connection with it, which I haven't had for a while. So we enjoyed watching them. But I'm with you, Steve, in the fact of that semi-final. There was a crucial time. The first half, I thought England were excellent. I know Dave sees it a little bit
first half
differently, but we could have been 3-0 up. So we've missed chances to kill a game. We go 2-0 up. If Kane squares it to Sterling, it's over. England will win that game comfortably, I think. Because we would have just sat back then and said, you have the ball and we don't need to chase it. But second half, when they were turning the screw after he'd scored, that's when he needed to make the change. He took Sterling off, which was absolutely the wrong thing to do. He wasn't playing great, but they were worried about him. They took him off the legs when Kane dropped deeper. Dele Alli, who touched the ball once, I think, in the tournament against Sweden with his header.
Not sure if I'm going to back you up with that, but...
We needed someone, maybe Delph, who can run up and down, or maybe Loftus-Cheek. We needed to get hold of the ball in the midfield, and we weren't doing it.
Don't think it was a bad plan A. The back three was good. They played well into midfield.
No, when it was turning,
this is the thing. So Maguire, Stones, Walker were excellent when they had no pressure. They didn't face any pressure. And if they play good teams, they would have pressed them. And that's the problem. As soon as Croatia pressed England, they played it back to Pickford, went long. That was the problem. It wasn't about midfield. It wasn't about anything. It was that they
when Henderson got it, he had no options either side.
Henderson didn't really get it that much, where he was behind Modric, Rakitic. he didn't really have that time where he was on the ball, turned and looked up. He played, a lot of his passes were blind, there were a lot of quick, a lot of the long balls
But
we're
that's,
talking about.
again, because someone's not coming to take the ball.
The problem is that these players are taught by Pep Guardiola and Pochettino, a lot of the players in there, right? They're taught a style. I don't think Southgate came in and said, what we're doing at club level, you know, the positional play, we're going to adopt that for England. There was no plan, and as soon as it was pressed, Walker was going back, Stones was going back. Maguire, I thought, was actually decent on the ball against Croatia, but the other two centre-halves, who were the platform for England, which means that you don't have to have those extra guys in midfield, struggled when they had the likes of Rebic, Mandzukic and Perisic coming down on them.
Okay.
I still think we needed someone else from midfield.
I agree. I agree with that. That's what I mean. I think there was you did need more. You need more energy and more bravery in the middle of the park, and it was what it was. And that's one of those things is that I was fine.
Well,
I enjoyed
it. Listen, he come fourth.
Yeah,
he come fourth.
And it's that, and that's they've
It's
got
not
to
even a Champions League
contextualise.
qualification.
No,
You don't even get that.
You've got to contextualise it. Is that it's the best World Cup since Italia '90, and that's what it is. And you can't take that away. And yeah, people may seek to analyse it.
Was Croatia's best finish though, right? The dark horse of the tournament. Yeah. Someone said that, didn't they, in the video?
Yeah, and I said France was winning it, David, and he did.
Yeah,
so
well, cut that clip right now of Stephen Elson saying, cut that up now, and Paul also slagging me off. That'd be great.
That'd be great, yeah. So Dave, you went for Portugal, Brazil, Croatia, Germany as your semi-final.
So Croatia are the guys.
How the fuck have Croatia got to the semi-final?
And I'm wrong.
They've really
He wants to
slipped
tell me
through.
where I'm wrong.
So let's go through this. So Croatia, top Group D.
Croatia just seem like they are right now. You've got Rakitic and Modric in midfield. You've got like the Perisic and Mario Mandzukic.
Just clip this up for me, please.
Yeah, but ultimately, I think just go back on it. I think that whole football's coming home thing. I think some people got the wrong end of the stick with that.
Because that's people.
Yeah, because people are weird, aren't they? Like, but no, I enjoyed the concept of it, and the basic concept of it was just that in a more philosophical sense is that football is people's passion for the national team. Came back to the national mentality a bit, and I think that's what it was.
All right, Hemingway.
That's deep, that, mate.
It is deep.
Deepest thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah. Freud here.
Yeah, exactly. But no, and I think that's in that regard. I think it's absolutely fine. And what I enjoyed most about the World Cup, I enjoyed England, but I enjoyed it was the bringing the good people to the forefront. It's James Alcott off this channel. It's the lads who are passionate about the nation, being able to go out there and I talked about it pre-tournament about how there's just too many negative connotations around the flag and nationalism and all that, which I can't buy into. But it allowed people to stop worrying about that for a little bit and people to celebrate being a fan of the country, which every other country seems to be dead good at doing. And if England can get back to that, then I think you go positive into the Euros in 2 years, and that can only be a good thing. Gents, absolute pleasure. We've enjoyed the World Cup coverage. Apologies if Steve and Ped didn't get into it. I tried my very best.
Please replay that reaction from everyone in this room. He jumps on the free of and just goes, oh my God, fuck's sake.
I tried my yeah.
Hang on, Ped went out to watch the semi.
Me and Ped went to watch the semi.
Ped went out to watch the semi.
That's all I'm
How funny was that bit? How many times did he moan in the 90 minutes?
It wasn't too bad.
He had his face painted.
400 or 500?
It was quite cold.
Yeah,
It was
his
quite
face
cold outside. He did. He was full head to toe. Anyway,
That's just
subscribe
back to 50,
to the Boston channel. Drop a like on this video and check out our team of the tournament video, which is coming out tomorrow. Ta-ra.